Good day, everyone. Today, we are going to discuss to you the introduction to geometry. I am going to discuss the basic geometrical concepts and properties. For our learning objectives, we have objective number 1, describe and name a point, a line, and a plane. Objective 2, represent point, line, and plane using concrete and pictorial models. Objective 3, illustrate the relationships of points, lines, and planes. And Objective 4, define, identify, and name the subsets of a line. Okay, geometry is all around us. Our environment is rich with patterns of different shapes and sizes. That's why we need to study geometry. Geometry comes from the Greek word geo, meaning earth, and metri, meaning measurement. Geometry literally means earth measurement. Euclid, often called as the father of modern geometry, made a very significant contribution to the study of geometry. In geometry, there are terms that are undefined. However, though these words are not formally defined, it is important to have a general agreement on how to describe these words. So, meron tayong mga word terms sa geometry na undefined. But all we can do is describe these terms. So, these terms are called undefined terms. So, what are the terms that are undefined in geometry? Okay, so we have points. A point shows position or location. It has no dimension and is always represented by a small dot. It can be named by a letter in the alphabet. Let us have example on models of points or representation of a point. Okay, we have the tip of a pen. So as you can see, the tip of the pen is a representation of point. Another example, corner of a box. So that is one of the representation of a point. And we also have a mole. So this is a representation of a point. Another one, we also have line. A line is a set of points that lie on straight path. Line extends without end in two directions represented by arrowheads. It can be named by two capital letters or by one small letter. Example, let us have a models or representations of line. We have edge of a ruler. So as you can see, the edge of a ruler is a representation of a line. Another one, we have the intersection of a wall and a ceiling. So as you can see, when the edge of the wall and the edge of the ceiling meet, so it represents a line. So below is a model of a line named by two capital letters or by a small letter. So we have point A, point B, and we have the small letter A here. And we have the line and it has two arrowheads which extends infinitely on both sides. So how do we name this line? So the name of the line is line AB, denoted by, so this is how we write line AB. It has the symbol of line with two arrowheads that extends the both sides. Or we can also write line A. We can use this letter, small letter, or these two capital letters. Let us have another example. So how do we name this line? So we have capital letter C or point C, point A, point T, and it also has a small letter M. So the line can be identified as line M, line CA, so we can use these two capital letters, or line AT. We can use this letter A and point T, or we can also use CT. So line CT. So it can also be called as line CT. So we are done in point, line, and now we will proceed to plane. Okay, a plane is a set of lines extending in the same directions. A flat surface is usually used to represent a plane. It can be named by a letter or by three or more letters. So let us have example or models or representations of planes. So we have a wall. So this is a representation of a plane. Another one is the ceiling. And we also have book cover. So these are all the representation of a plane. Below is an illustration of a plane. So we have this. There are letters. There are points. So how do we name a plane based on this diagram? So the plane can be named as plane A. So take a look on this parallelogram. So we can name it as plane A. So it has a small letter A here. Or we can also name it as plane MATH or plane math. So MATH. So that is the name of this plane. Another one, the other plane is plane B. So it has a small letter B here. Or we can also name it as plane MAEK. So MAEK. Okay, so that is how we name a plane. Okay, some basic concepts in geometry must be understood without being defined. One such concept is the points that lie on a line or on a plane. So we have collinear points. So collinear points are points that lie on the same line. And we also have coplanar points. Coplanar points are points that lie on the same plane. So that is the difference. So let us have some examples. Naming collinear and coplanar points. Name three collinear points. So points B, O, E are collinear points. They lie on the same line. So this is point V, O, and E. So they are called collinear points because they lie on the same line. Another one. Name four points that are coplanar. So we have points L, O, V, E are coplanar points. They lie on the same plane. So L, O, V, and E. So they lie on the same plane. So the color blue plane, they are inside the plane. Okay, another example. Name points that are not collinear. So the term here is not collinear. So we can say that points L, V, O do not lie on the same line. So they are not collinear. So points L, V, O. So they do not lie on the same line. Or points L, E, I. So L, E, I. So they are not collinear because they do not lie on the same line. Okay, another example, we have name non-coplanar points. Okay, points I, L, O, V are non-coplanar points. So we have I, L, O, V because they do not lie on the same plane. So point I is outside the plane, the color blue plane. Okay? So therefore, they are non-coplanar points. So consider the line MN, a part of a line consisting of the endpoints M and N. So in geometry, meron tayong tinatawag na line segment. So we have line segment MN. Now what is the difference between these two lines? So line MN, it has two arrowheads and extends to both directions. Okay, in line segment, MN, it has no arrowheads. It does not have two arrowheads and it does not extend to both directions. So this is called the end point of the line. Okay, so that is line segment MN. Another concept is array, which consists of an initial point and all the points on either side of the initial point. Okay, so we have line MN. So when we name array, we can say array NM. So what is the difference between line MN and ray NM? So as we can see, ray NM, it has one endpoint and one arrowhead that extends to that direction. We can also say that we can have ray MN. So what is the difference? So ray MN, it has one endpoint and one arrowhead that extends to one direction. So what is the difference between ray NM and ray MN? So their difference is they extend to different direction. Okay? So note that line MN and line NM are the same. But ray MN and ray NM are not the same. They have different directions. Okay? Okay, let us have practice quiz. Tell whether each of the following represents a point, a line, or a plane. Number 1, star in the sky as seen from Earth. So kapag tinitingnan natin yung mga stars, it is a perfect representation of a point. Okay, a curtain rod. So it is a representation of a line. Okay, cartolina. So it is a representation of a plane. Clothesline. It is a representation of a line. A grain of salt. It is a representation of a point. Okay? Another one. Use the figure on the right. So name a point collinear to number 1, D and B. So let's say we have point D, point B, and another point that is collinear to B and D. So we have point C. They are collinear points. So the answer here is point C. Number 2, H and F. So we have point H, point F. So we can say that point C is collinear to point H and F. Number 3, point G and point F. So point G, point F. And we can say that point E is collinear to point G and F. Point E. Okay, number 4, point E and point H. So point E, point H. So we can say that point D, okay, is collinear to point E and H. Number 5, we have point E and point B. So we can say that point A is collinear to point E and point B. Another one. So use the figure on the right. So this is the figure. Determine whether each of the following is true or false. Number 1. A, N, and D are collinear. So let us have A, N, and D. So as you can see, they lie on the same line. So therefore, they are collinear. So the answer is true. Number 2. A, R, Z, T are coplanar. So A, R, Z, T. So they are on the same plane. So therefore, they are coplanar. So the answer is true. Number 3. C, R, Z, and T are non-coplanar. So the keyword is non-coplanar. So as you can see, they do not lie on the same plane. So therefore, they are non-coplanar. So the answer is true. Number 4, R, Z, and T are non-collinear. So as we can see on the figure, point R, Z, and T lie on the same line. So therefore, they are collinear. So this statement is false. Okay, number 5. We have M, K, C, and E are coplanar. M, K, C, and E are coplanar. So as you can see, they lie on the same plane. So that means they are coplanar. So the answer is true. Okay? So that's it for today. Thanks for watching.